Uh, there's some taboos around stress.
Yeah,
So
well,
if you're stressed out, then
Yeah.
maybe you're like a little bit weaker or something like that. And I don't agree with that at all. I think, you know what, stress is going to be part of life. Everyone's going to have stress. So what you need to do is you need to offset the stress with things that de-stress you.
Yeah.
So you can only handle so much stress before it boils over. So before you get to the boiling over point, do something that offsets it. Exercise, get out in nature, read a book,
Yeah.
go hang out, have coffee with a friend that you trust,
Okay.
that kind of thing. I think that there needs to be an offset, and
Yeah.
we need to allow time for that. So I think the tendency sometimes with people who are really trying to do well in their careers is they just work. And if they don't take a pause and say, you know what, I'm working a lot, but I also need to take time for myself and take time to
Yeah.
de-stress and relax.
Yeah.
That's not a healthy life.
Music is a good thing.
Yeah. What else do you do?
Spending time with friends.
Spending time with friends. Going for walks.
Yeah.
I think they handle it in very different ways. I think a lot of people bring it home and bring it out there, and then some people get angry at work and start,
Yeah.
lots of things people deal with it. I personally haven't had much stress, so I don't really know how I deal with it.
Yeah.
Everything's stress. I'd say when you're dealing with a hard, challenging situation, just take a step back, examine.
Good. Yeah.
If you're not sure, ask a friend.
Yeah, it's a loaded question. There's a lot of different ways that stress can come up, but yeah, I mean, it's just like I said before, finding that person to talk to is very important. When it comes to mental health, there's so many different ways to combat it. Some of the best ways that I found in my life is things like prayer, things like hobbies, things like and yeah, again, like
Oh, you're holding a guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
is what it is.
You're
I
a
love,
musician.
Yeah, love music. Yeah, so finding that thing that really brings you joy in life and
Yeah.
something that actually it makes your life better, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So yeah, and really like diving into those
Love
things
it,
is
man.
very
That's so good. So good.
yeah.
I think stress in the workplace, talk to a manager. I think sometimes managers are not there to help. I've had jobs where I've had to quit because it's not a safe environment. The stress is not handled. I think people need to know that there's always going to be another job out there.
Yeah.
It might take a couple of minutes or a couple of, days and weeks to find, but at the end of the day, prioritize yourself, and money is always going to come, right? But your safety and your mental health doesn't work that way.
I work out. Obviously, I work at the gym. I do like to hike. Play sports is a big one, big outlet. Basketball, football, all that stuff.
Stress is an ongoing issue that we can't ignore. Great companies will look for areas of undue stress and look to resolve those areas. Everyone has stress in their lives. And if you're going to build a workplace culture in Canada that is healthy and strong, we are going to have working places that allow us to deal with our stress, where we can talk about our stress and where we can learn to manage it. In the last number of years, Canada has made great strides in the areas of workplace health and safety, but it's up to us to continue this momentum. If we look at stats for this year, 2023, we recognize that we've had a little bit of regression since the pandemic. But we can decide that what we will accept and what we will not. If a company doesn't have great orientation and training, we can make the decision not to work there. We can look for companies with great communication, companies that will actually allow us to deal with our stress. When we get a job, we can make sure that every injury and every near miss is reported. Not being afraid to talk about psychological health or our stress levels. When we all decide to be courageous, we can make a huge impact on the Canadian workforce, making Canada the best place in the world to live and work.